ladies, please hear me good. Never be in a rush to marry a person who's not in a rush to marry you. Okay? Never. Always make sure that they're just as excited to be with you as you are with them. So I told her that was her first mistake. Okay? No, something is wrong. It's saying something that I don't know what it's talking about. Let me try that again. Give me a second, you guys. I'm trying to bring on the YouTube family. Yeah. But it's saying it's streaming, but I don't see it. Okay. Well, I'll just have to hope that it is streaming because I don't see it. Hold on. I don't see them. Anyway, that's fine. Well, they're saying it is, so we just have to go with what they're saying. All right, so now let me get back to this. Give me a second. And let me drop that out and let me put this on the screen and then share this screen. But anyway, let me say this to you guys real quick. And I was sharing with her, the fact that I told her up front that there was some red flags, but she was so excited to get married. She was so excited to get married. So she went on ahead and now she's dealing with the consequences of what I warned her about. I told her, don't marry this guy. Don't marry him. Don't marry him. And I gave her the reasons why. And that's bad enough. But here's the thing that bothered me the most. And I want you guys to hear me really, really good. Okay? Please hear me good on this. And the devil is busy. I hear the line people here as soon as we get started on class. Now they had all week long and they're gonna come. All right. Anyway, excuse me. Here's what I want you guys to know, and then we'll get into the charts. The one thing statement that she said to me that bothered me. She said, do you think he will watch this? She said, do you think that he will ever see my value? If you heard what I said, type a 10 on the box. I want to make sure you guys are not in this situation. Okay. She asked that question and it bothered me. Bad enough, all the things that's going on, that's fine. But for her to ask that question, it bothered me. Do you think he will ever see my value? And keep in mind, this is not a young couple. This is a couple who's actually in their 60s. Do you think he'll ever see my value? I asked her, what difference does that make? Who cares whether he'll ever see your value eventually or not? Do you see your value? And this is why that message was so vital. And I shared it with her yesterday and I asked her, please listen to that. Because anytime a person makes you feel valuable, they can also make you feel unvaluable by removing the value that they placed on you. And now you feel worthless, which is what he was talking about. So you never want to position yourself to the point where you allow yourself to be diminished because of the perspective of others. I asked her, I said, do you think that I care about whether people value me or not? I said, that was one of the biggest mistakes I made early on in my early years. I don't give two rats behinds whether a person thinks I'm valuable or not. I really don't care. If I would have thought that way, Super Easy wouldn't be here. I was under so many attacks and people calling me all these kind of things, and all I'm doing is trying to help people, and they attacked me viciously and called me all kinds of things, but I kept on going. Why? Because you don't define me. I define me. God defines me, not people. I would have caved under the pressure of these people. I would have quit a long time ago. In many different ventures that I'm working on. If I had to deal with the love of people, people will love you today and tell you, crucify him tomorrow, like they did Jesus. Same people he done fed 5,000, now they showing up, crucify him. Why? He ain't fed us today. Yeah, but I fed you yesterday. Yeah, that was yesterday. You ain't fed us today. And see, people will flip flop on you. So don't you ever put your value on, or don't ever ask yourself the question of, well, I wonder if they will ever, it doesn't matter. Because at the end of the day, if you see yourself as valuable, then you are valuable. Let me give you one quick example, and then let's get to these charts. If I had a 10 carat watch, which I did at one point, I had a 10 carat watch. If I showed that watch to a person who doesn't understand value, they'll say, oh, look at those zirconias on that watch. And they would discount and say, oh, and that fake watch, fake watch, fake watch. And I could have given it to them and they would have gave it back. I don't wear the fake stuff. But it was a 10 carat diamond watch. Why? Because in their perception, they didn't see its value. But did that mean that the watch was not 10 carats of diamonds? No, it was still 10 carats of diamonds. It just means you stupid enough not to see the value of it. And that is the way life is with many people. You're in relationships, dealing with people, family members, and this and that, and they keep saying negative things, but that's because they don't see your value. And that's okay, because truth is, some of those who are talking, they don't see their own. And if they can't see their own value, how do you possibly think they were going to give you value and validate you? This is why it's dangerous to put your value, your mental value of what you think you're worth, in the hands of other people. Whether you're in a relationship with them or not. Because if they're struggling with their own self-value, then no wonder they can't see your value. So why would I want to get an estimate on me from somebody who don't know what a good estimate looks like? Type of amen if you hear me true. And we're going to get moving. Type of amen if you hear me. It's very dangerous of you to do that. Why would you go into a depression because this person said? Who gives a rat's? I don't care what you say. Let me get y'all this real quick, and now I'm going to this chart. All right, here's the deal. Let me say this, and we're going. The word self-esteem, and I've taught you guys this before, the word self-esteem, simply if you reverse it, instead of saying self-esteem, put it backwards. To esteem or elevate oneself. That's all it is. Simple word. You're elevating yourself. What do you think you're worth in your own eyes is what self-esteem is. If you don't think you're worth anything, then you will not estimate your value, which is the other way of saying self-esteem is estimated value. What is your self-estimated value? And if you don't think you're worth too much, no wonder you keep dealing with the fools that you're dealing with. They're idiots. Because you're not seeing your own value. And that's the issue. It's not them, it's you. And I told her that. I said, at this point, I don't blame him for any of this anymore. I said, I blame you for allowing this to keep going on. You're belittling yourself for a person who don't see your value. Are you guys hearing what I'm saying? Me and Nancy on next week? On Valentine's Day will be me and Nancy's 10-year wedding anniversary. She's still my best friend. I still wake up excited to be married to her and everything else. The one thing that makes this work so well is because we give to each other. I'm not looking to get nothing from her, and she's not looking to get something from me. She's not looking to me to fulfill her, and I'm not looking to her to fulfill me. Because I feel confident that I can give something of value, and she feels confident that she can give something of value, we're both in a game of who can give more value to the other person. So we're always waking up trying to see, how can I make this other person be happy and have a good day? Why? Because I have enough for myself. I don't need any more. I'm gracious. I'm grateful that she loves me. Matter of fact, y'all didn't see it, but she just opened the door. She's actually in a meeting in her room, but she left her room Just now, y'all didn't even see it because I don't have the camera on. She cracked it. When you see me look over here, she cracked the door open. I thought she needed something. No, she opened the door to make sure I had something to drink. Type of 500 in the box. That's a blessing. That's what you want. Somebody who says, I got enough going on. I'm good. How can I help you? And then you're married to the other person and say, no, I'm actually good. How can I bless you? So you have two givers in the relationship, not two needy people trying to drain each other, which is what he was talking about. And a lot of you guys are just draining each other dry. Nothing to give and want everything. And you wonder why you're having relationship issues. Love you first, find your value, and then give that value away. That is what makes the relationship healthy, is because you're giving your value away because you have more than enough when you wake up to who you are. I'm more than enough. So let me go ahead and give. Just like my closets, I have more than enough clothes. So sometimes I will go to my closet, pull out some nice clothes so I can do what with them? What do I do with the clothes that I have too much of? And I know I'm talking about something other than charts, but just take this as your uncle sharing some advice for you. Okay. I'm a holistic person. Yes, we can talk about making money in the markets, but I'm also concerned because money will not fix this. And no matter how much you make, you can still be depressed because of this. So just don't attack me. Just hear me and we got these charts, okay? If I have too many clothes, what do I do with the clothes that's in my closet? What do I do? What do you guys think? Talk to me. What do I do with them? If I say, you know what, I got too much, what do I do? Type, quickly, quickly. There you go. Y'all got it. I give them away or I donate. What is donate? I'm not charging you anything. I'm not expecting anything in return. I'm giving this to you out of my abundance. I got more than enough. I don't need anything from you. I'm giving it to you because I don't need all this. I'm spilling over with value. And I'm just looking for a person who's worthy to receive what I got to give. And if you don't appreciate what I'm giving, somebody else will. But no matter whether you appreciate it or not, it has nothing to do with the fact that I have more than enough to give. You don't determine my value. I do. And God does, not human beings. So if this was for somebody out there, God bless you for being here today. Sometimes you think you're coming in for one thing, but you're here for something else. You've been crying and dealing with this situation, dealing with depression over your relationship and this and that. And God sent you here just to hear that message. And now we're going on to the charts. Let's keep it moving. All right, you guys. So here's the deal. Switching hats. All right, so here's the deal. As I told you guys last week, was considered hell week in the markets because of the news going on. There was tons of news. And here's the deal. Please understand that will happen once a week. Okay, once a week. And let me get my announcement sheet. I just want to help somebody real quick who may be stuck in their heads in a bad situation and and they're ashamed to tell anybody about it. So I just want to share that with you. Love yourself. You good. You good. Bummy people. Oh, that be pissing me off. These people think they all that. You ain't all that. Get out of here. Matter of fact, I helped you by coming into your life. What you talking about? Act like you bringing value. You ain't bringing nothing. I was valuable before you came. Matter of fact, I was doing better before you showed up. Nigga, Rachi, you ain't do nothing without me. I'm the best thing you ever. What? You crazy. Get out of here. Anyway, um, all right. So news, as far as news last week, it was chaotic. I'm not gonna lie. And we still in the copycat, we still squeeze out, I think, 10 wins and three losses. But always remember there's going to be hell week once a month. Okay. Once a month, there's going to be hell week, basically where the Feds is coming out with interest rate announcements or inflation numbers, and they have NFP the same week, and sometimes they overstack other countries with their interest rate announcement or inflation numbers. So it's a volatile week. It's going to happen once a month. So expect that, okay? But now this week, it was a whole lot more smoother. AUD came out with their interest rates. NZD came out of employment numbers. The Swiss came out. They're coming out at 1:45 a.m. Eastern Standard Time tonight. with their unless they already did it, I got to double check. But tonight at 1:45 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, the Swiss, which is the CHF, not the Chief, not the Kansas City Chiefs. Okay, I heard people call it Chiefs and other things, but it's the CHF, it's the Swiss franc. Okay, so the Swiss is coming out with their unemployment numbers, and also, which just came out earlier this morning, China came out with their inflation numbers, but apparently it really didn't do a whole lot to move the market. I'm always watching that number. We don't trade China, Chinese currency, but they're the second largest economy in the world. So sometimes if there's bad news in China, it could produce an echo effect across the board. But it appears like nothing major happened with it, so we're good to go. Tomorrow, you got the jobless claims, which is for the USD, which is not that big of a deal, so I don't expect it to be a big market mover. May give a little blip or something. And then the CAD is coming out on Friday with unemployment numbers, and that's all the news that's coming out this week. So most of the moves that's going to happen is either the normal market manipulation moves and stuff like that. But as far as big news events, really, there's really not that much to worry about, which is great. They got it all out of the way. The storm has passed last week, and this week is a little bit better, a lot better, in fact. All right. So that's that. Now, let me go to what the copycat group has done so far. Here's where we are. Oops. Oh, she's in that one. Okay, got it. So we are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We've closed out 7 winners, only 1 loss, and that 1 loss was just for about 5 pips. And I was trying to get us to break even because what happened was we was in a trade, and a news event came out hours later, caused the whole market, the whole euro market, not just that pair, the whole euro market and the pound, all of it, the whole thing got shook because of the Euro's PMI numbers. And so when those numbers came out, it really went crazy. The market went crazy for that whole Euros area. Okay, so that's what happened. But I waited patiently, tried to make sure it came about to break even, and then it came close enough. And I said, okay, well, this is good enough, and we'll just take the 5 pip loss and move on. So realistically, if you count 5 pips as a big loss, then oh, shame on you. Okay, but 5 pips ain't nothing. And so we made it back on the GBP NZD trade, and we got some other trades running. So right now, again, we are at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're at seven winners so far, and that 5 pip loss, which is basically nothing. To me, I really wanted to call it break even, but some people, well, I saw 3 pips, or I was down 6 pips. You have people crying like that. So anyway, that's that. Okay, 7 and 1. All right, that's so far, and then we still have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and we have 6 trades running. Okay, so we're running really, 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 really well. So thank you guys who have joined the copycat family. We're doing a really, really good job. My team is amazing, and so I'm grateful for that. All right, now let me go over these announcements, and then let's go into the charts. All right, number one, I'm not a financial advisor, so I can't give you financial advice. If you need a financial advisor, please go seek out a financial advisor. I'm not a financial advisor. Okay, number two, please make sure to, when we get to my favorite part of class, which is the question and answer period, that your background noise is under control, because this is being recorded for playback, and they do want to hear your questions, and they do want to hear my answers, so please do so. And don't be ashamed to ask any question, because chances are whatever question you have, 10 other people were thinking the same thing, and we all grew as a retail family, retail traders. We're all in the same basket, so let's go ahead and grow together. So please ask questions. I don't care if you're a newbie or whether you're been around for a minute. Doesn't matter to me, okay? Disposable income. Please make sure that when you are trading that you use what we call disposable income. Disposable income is simply this: you've tested your strategy in a demo account, and you got it down packed, you feel pretty comfortable, you've able to double or triple your demo account, and now you're ready to go live. That's cool, but don't start with a big amount. Start with something that won't hurt the family, meaning that you've already paid your bills on time, got a little money in savings for a rainy day, and now you have something left over, and there you go. Okay, or which a lot of people do, they take that small little rainy day money, that small little money, they say, well, I got $100 or $200, and they go to a prop firm and they say, well, let me see what a prop firm offers. And some of these prop firms, if you can get an account with them for, as little as $50, $100, or whatever they do out there. It's the same amount of money as if you would have put it in for a $100 account. You put it into a prop firm account, and basically you go from there. Okay. I don't make recommendations on prop firms, so please do your own due diligence. I don't have anything to say about that. I'm just telling you what a lot of people do. Instead of using your $100 account, you can buy a prop firm account, and you're trading somebody else's money, and it could be up to a $10,000 account. Okay. And if you pass the first or second challenge, whatever they do, they actually give you back your deposit, which is what's supposed to happen. And now you're trading a $10,000 account versus your $100 account. So that's another way you can go about it. Okay. Either way it goes, just start small and then grow from there. Okay. Don't try to take your whole, I'm going to take my whole next paycheck, Uncle P. I'm going to take my whole next paycheck. No, calm down. Uncle don't want you doing that. Okay. All right. Next, if anybody's contacting you saying, hey, this is Uncle P, this is Miss Jenny, Miss Donna, Miss Dr. Elvis, or this is Uncle P's wife trying to reach out to you because he said he wanted to personally, do XYZ for you and this and that, please leave it alone. By the way, at this point, one of the things we did with the copycat service, we killed off all that noise of people trying to say, oh, I'll trade for you. Now that we have the copycat service, you know exactly who's trading for you. Okay. Thank God for that. Type of amen. Somebody type of amen on that. Scammers are done. Because that was one of the big things. Well, let me trade on for you. And they used to get a lot of people. This is Uncle P, and I'll trade for you. Just send me some Bitcoin and I'll trade for you. They're gone now. Because you have a legit service where you know exactly who's trading for you. Okay? None of that foolishness. I don't like foolishness. I don't like that. Why scam people for money? It ain't that serious. Sending your soul to hell over a couple of dollars. Man, I'd rather work at McDonald's than to rob people. That's ridiculous. But they do. All right. And last but not least, let me pause this real quick and get this last announcement, and then we're literally ready to go. We're ready to go. Ready to go, baby. Ready to go. Let's see. Cool. I think that's it. Yeah, I think I covered everything. All right, we're good. So let me get to the charts and then we're done. I am so happy for everybody. I really am. I'm excited, as you can tell. Okay. All right. So here's the deal. Let's go through some charts. The market is another issue, though, you guys. When there's a huge news event week, then the market tends to start off a little bit slower than normal. Okay, so that's kind of normal. Like, if you're new, then that goes with it. Okay, but right here, we're just looking this. What day of the week is this? I want to make sure everybody's on the same page. What day of the week is this? What day of the week is this? Rob got it first. Reversal day, Wednesday, midweek reversals. So this is the time, if you're, want to, where you can actually, look at that NZD news. See, look at that NZD news. What did I tell y'all? NZD news. Did I not tell you? Let's skip down to there. See, NZD news. That's what happened. What did I tell y'all? See? You don't care about no news. Price action. Action. Okay. See, you see Uncle P? Uncle P, he don't know what he's talking about. Don't listen to him. I got you. I got you. See all this support right here? You see all this support? What happened? News. Broke right through support. That will happen. Nothing wrong with it breaking through support, but you have to pay attention to news. This is why I'm always doing the Sunday news events for you guys. It's simply to help you to understand if you're going to take a trade on something, then be careful, because sometimes if it is a scheduled news event, you want to pay attention to it just in case, you're in a bad situation. That thing could tear your account up. Okay. Sometimes there's going to be news events or something that pops off and you weren't aware of it. Okay. The other deal is, what if you were in a trade? Okay. What if you were in a trade and you lose it? Okay. Then bottom line is, move on to the next one. Why? Because it was a news event, not that big of a deal. Are you guys understanding me? Type of 50 if you guys understand me. It's not that big of a deal. It was just a news event. It's nothing personal. Move on. Or what you could have done, because a lot of times, if you'll see this, and I want you guys to learn this, which, by the way, the other blessing is I'm getting a lot of people who are saying, you know what, I'm learning patience for the first time. Why? Because in the copycat group, we don't trade like everybody else. Okay. And so people are starting to learn, oh, this is what they was trying to teach me the whole time about patience and not using tight stop losses. I'll give you an example. The one where I personally wanted to put it at break even, but you got the broker spread. What happened was it was a news event that had nothing, it was in the Eurozone, but it affected everything, the Great British Pound as well, which had nothing to do with the Euro. But the whole area got attacked. It went under attack because of the numbers, the report that came out, right? That can happen. But the good news is, look at what's happening here, and we're going to use this as the lesson for each and everybody for here. Look at what takes place with news events. Oftentimes they will spike down real hard, but what do they do afterwards? And Derek, you're correct. Some will, some won't. So what? Move on. Some will work out, some won't. So what? Move on. Okay, Robert, you're correct. It returns. Look at what happened. This thing spiked all the way down and bounced right back up. Retested and then shot all the way back up. Okay, so the point is that a lot of you guys, this is why I'm saying stop using tight stop losses. And if you're in the copycat service, you're starting to understand the philosophy of it. For an example, that trade that didn't work out on the GCAD, okay? Look at what that, and look at there. I hate when I'm right. Lord have mercy. I hate when I'm right. I was right. See, it got done spiking down and then shot right on up. I was right, like normal. Okay. But what happened was, hey, it was on a great support. Everything was fine. It spiked down and then shot back up. Had I left it, we would have actually made profit. Okay. We actually would have been in profit nicely to the almost to the point where I told you, or half point to where I told you guys it was going to go when I said it. But here's what happened. Because I placed my stop loss well out of the way, comfortably out of the way, even when it spiked down, it started to come back up and I tried to get us out at break even, which is why we were only down by 4 or 5 pips. And I said, okay, let's just close this straight out and let's move on to another one. Even though, as you can see, I was actually right and it did go up and we would have been in profit. The point is, it could have been a major loss for nothing had I not realized that stop using tight stop losses. Because once it spikes down, because of news, it tends to do what? Rebound right back up, depending on the news event. Now, the only time I typically see massive moves like that is interest rates and inflation numbers, where it's just something big or a war just broke out, big stuff. But if it's just like, PMI numbers, producer manufacturing index numbers, which means, production in the country or something like that. They may cause that. NLP may cause it, but then it'll bounce right back where it was supposed to go. So because of that, keeping this in mind, retail family, even this right here, it may come down and touch the ADR low or the low of the day and then stop, find its footing, and then come on back up. So if you know this, then you want to use a comfortable stop loss way out of the way. Stop using these 5 and 10 pip stops, because that's why you keep getting stopped up. And then a day or two later, same thing like what happened here. Look what happened. It shot up just like I anticipated. But you're already out of many trades and you're blowing your accounts not because of the market doing what it normally does, which is it spikes. It spikes. That's what happens. But it's because of you using these tight stop losses. Let me go this route with you guys. I'm still a student of this game. I'm just a few grades ahead of you guys, but I by no means feel like I mastered this at all. Okay. Which, by the way, I have another interview. Those who saw my interview with Calvin before, type of 400 if you see my interview with Calvin. Okay. So a bunch of you guys saw my interview with Calvin. Okay. He's a great interviewer, by the way. That guy is really good at what he does. So here's the deal. He asked me to come back. I didn't ask him. He asked me to come back, and I felt very honored to do that. He reached out to me and said, hey, Unc, would you mind coming back for a second interview? And I said, sure, not a problem. So it's scheduled for tomorrow. And then he takes about a week or two to edit it. So guys, just whenever that video comes out, just go ahead and watch it. And I appreciate the support. Okay. So praise God for that. All right. By the way, see, when you first start something, people will talk bad about you. And then later on, you stay consistent. Then people come and say, hey, what are you doing? I like what you're doing. See, consistency. So don't give up on your dream. All right. But anyway, going back to this, the point is that these things will happen. These things will happen. Okay. Whether It was a mistake on your part, whether it was just a news event, you just got caught up in one or whatever. The point is that the more you get used to using let me rephrase that. The more you comfortable you get with using bigger stop losses and smaller lot sizes. Please write this in your notes because this is the key to what separates the retail trader from the pro traders. This is the ball game right here. I'm gonna give it to you right here. Here it is, literally. Because you all think that some of these other traders are just who's make these banks and institutions, all these big people are just phenomenal traders. They win every trade. Actually, they don't. That's why I said Super Easy actually trades better than a lot of these larger institutions. They don't even have our win rate. They don't. And they're making massive amounts of money. So how are they doing it? How are they doing it? Here it is. They use larger stop losses and smaller lot sizes. I'm actually training, and when I go into other people's stuff, because I'm still trying to learn so I can pass this knowledge over to you guys. So I will go in and sign up for classes with other people who I think are pretty good. They don't know it's me in there, but I am. Okay. I am. I'm still a student. I literally do. And I'm not going into their thing to try to steal secrets of this and that. I think we're pretty well established. We've been around since 2018, 2019, something like that. Okay. So I'm not trying to steal ideas from them. I'm just trying to still be a student. Okay. And as a result of that, I will go in and I'll say, okay, is there anything else I can learn from this person who I feel is pretty successful? Right. And one of them who's in his class right now, he makes a lot of money. But here's what his strategy is. Very simple. Very, very simple. He's doing exactly what I'm telling you. He uses higher time frames, number one. He always uses higher time frames, such as what I was telling you. Okay. Okay. Number two, because he's using higher time frames, you get the perspective of where your stop loss should be. For an example, if I was to take a trade right now on this trade, where would I consider, just using this chart, the 4-hour time frame, where would I even consider put my stop? Well, they always say look to the left. Well, look at how far down this is. So I wouldn't be looking up here to use a stop. Oh, well, it broke through the zone, but it might come back in the zone. That is true. But am I going to use my stop up there? No. Down here. Way out of the way. Way out of the way. And I'm going to use a larger stop loss so that if it bounces around like it did here multiple times, it drops down, yeah, but then it shoots up big, drop down. What happened immediately after? Shoots up big, shoots up big. Look at this one, drop down hard, shoots up big. So what may happen here? It's dropping down now, but then it may what? Shoot up big. But I'm gonna miss the shoot up big part if I have a tight stop loss where it just taps me out and I'm over in the corner. Sucking your thumb crying. Why? Because I told you stop using these tight butt stop losses. Look to other area of levels that are below that one that you're looking at and try to use that as a place to put your stop loss. Put it way out of the way. So once it gets done bouncing and it starts shooting back up, you can get out at break even, or you may even be able to walk away with profit. Type of 45 if you guys hear what I'm saying. I want to make sure everybody's getting this. This is important. This is very important. Now, I will say this, the better you get at trading, then you can start reducing your lot size, okay? Because what happens is, when I use my son for an example, he trades certain pairs, so he's used to knowing about where they're going to go. And that takes time for you to get used to something. Lord, help me with this. Help me to deliver this concept idea. All right. Y'all wonder why I talk about relationships so often. Well, because I actually like talking about relationships far more than I do Forex. I really do. I've actually got my certification as a life coach. I've studied relationships for years. I studied, put some real time in on relationships just like I did with Forex. But the transformation happened when I realized that Forex and relationships are pretty much the same thing. The reason why some of you guys are losing on certain things is because you're just gung-hoing it and you're not understanding how these pairs behave. Okay? They behave just like people. And once you understand their behavioral patterns, you get a little more comfortable. Like certain ones, For an example, if I was trading the Swiss tends to like to stay in the trend, and it fakes you out a whole lot more because it can make big moves without any news event. So I'm leery of trying to trade reversals on the CHF, the Swiss. If I see a good opportunity, yeah, I may take it. But will I take it with a confidence? No, I never do. Because I know the Swiss is the sneaky pair. How do I know that? Been observing it for years. And so, due to you taking the time to observe, not trying to trade all the time, which is why, in my opinion, yes, I'm promoting it, but I'm also telling you guys one of the things that's going to benefit you about the copycat service, for once, you can now be making money without the stress of having to feel urgency to do it yourself. Now you can go back, which one of the students had said, thank God for the copycat service, because now I'm actually making money, which now gives me time to slow down and actually learn the Forex market. So now you can slow down and you can actually start observing what I've been trying to teach you for years. And you can start taking your time and watch how these things are behaving. How do they react during news events? How does this pair work? Why does he like trading these pairs versus these pairs? Well, because I didn't put the time in to observe their behavioral pattern. Is this making sense to you guys? They have a behavioral pattern. Why do they have a behavioral pattern? Because it's people who's trading them. These markets are not being pushed around by themselves. It's people doing it. So in essence, as you're learning the market's behavioral patterns or each currency's behavioral pattern, you're learning the people who's running it behind the scenes. And once you get a grasp of what they're doing, it makes trading a whole lot easier. One of the biggest breakthroughs for me, which nobody taught, I had to use the relationship side of what I know about relationships and people's historical behavioral patterns and how you can kind of tell where they're going to be going next to understand the markets. And then it dawned on me, and God helped me to see, hey, in the beginning, for years, from the beginning, when you first set foot into the Forex market, you were losing big time. But did you observe what days? And I never paid attention until I started journaling. And there it was. There it was. Are you guys understanding what I'm saying here? When you begin to learn, for an example, these big spikes, looking at this one here, yes, this one is being pushed down because of news, NZD news. But if that is the only thing and it's hitting these levels, and typically I can see its behavioral pattern, it will spike. Look at this, spike down real hard. And what does it do next? Pop up real big. Spike down real hard, pop up real big. Spike down real hard, take out everybody, and then what? Pop up. If that's the case and it's doing it here, what do I expect to happen next? What do you guys think may happen? And I always say may. What do you think may happen next? Because anything can happen, but what do you think may happen? It's being pushed down real hard right now. What may happen next? What do you think? Type, 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 type. Rudy got it first. You got it. Pop-ups. Pop-up. That's what I'll be anticipating. I'll wait for the setup to be proper, meaning, yes, I'm observing it on the 4 hour, but I'm going to drop down to the 15-minute and wait for the arrow just to confirm. And then I'm going to use a very comfortable stop loss with a lower lot size and then go from there. But as you begin to observe and learn these patterns, then you don't have to use such a big stop loss necessarily. You can begin to use a smaller one because you have learned its behavioral patterns. And that's one of the things my son is good at. He has learned behavioral patterns on certain pairs. So he now feels more comfortable knowing, okay, I know how this is going to play out because I've observed and I put the time in. And as a result, he's a beast at trading. In my opinion, he's better than me. He's better than me now. But it took him time too. And it's going to take you time. It takes time to learn. It's no different from, let me give you all a better example. You remember I told you about this couple, okay? And they're in their 60s, okay? In their 60s, they're not young birds. But what was the problem? What was the problem? Oh, he lived out of state and she lived here. And I believe in love at any age, which is cool. But I told her, I warned her, I said, y'all not friends yet. Don't be excited. Oh, I'm getting married. Got a ring. I don't care about that ring. Give it back. Give it back. Okay. Give it back. Don't care about that. Why? Because you guys haven't had enough time to get to know each other. And in my opinion, best friends always come out better in relationships than people who just met up, had children, or whatever the situation was that eliminated or was didn't have the essential ingredient of friendship in it. And they didn't have that because they didn't have enough time. Y'all knew each other years ago, that's fine, but that people change over time. And you have to get to know the present person, not who they were, who are they now? And they didn't give it no time. And the brother then relocated in a matter of months, moved down here, and come to find out they are completely opposites. And they've only been married a few months, and now he's already moving out. And these are a couple in their 60s. What was the problem? They didn't get to know each other. And the same problem they're having, you say, "Oh, that is crazy. What do you think you're doing in the Forex market? You're trying to make $1 million in a relationship that you don't understand. You're no different." Gotcha. See, don't point fingers so quick because it may come back at you. Look at it. See all these fingers pointing back at you? You're doing the same thing with the Forex market. You're not giving it enough time. You're trying to make $1 million over something you don't even know. You ain't got no learning curve in it at all. No, you just hopping in, live account right away. I say start with a demo. You start with live account, and you keep wanting me. You ain't no different from that couple. You're going too fast. Type of 45, if that makes sense. This is helpful. So the more you get educated in what you're, listen, I have a friend named Mark, humble guy, drives an old Civic, but the man is wealthy. But you never know how much he has because he'll never say anything. But I know it because he used to be my next door neighbor when we lived in a different state, and now he's here in the same state with me here. And if you go to where he lives, oh my freaking God, he don't own one place up in that place. The brother owns several. But when you see him drive his car, it's an old Civic. One of my old, he's white, one of my best friends. Known him for over, I don't know, what, 15 years? One of my best friends. But the hat he wears is just one of them old, hats that got a little rips on it, and little Levi blue jeans, and then them old sneakers with dirt on them. I wouldn't be caught wearing them. Okay, this brother over here, I'm sorry, I'm learning to be a little bit more humble, but I got my shoe collection on point. Okay, and I darn sure ain't gonna wear no dirty shoes in public. But he does. He does. But he taught me something valuable because he's into real estate and he manages millions of dollars of real estate. He owns the company that manages millions of dollars of big real estate. And he taught me a lesson that he taught to his employees. Watch this. Never forget this term. It's called, watch this, tacit knowledge. Tacit knowledge. He said, I have a lot of employees who come through and they just want employment. He said, I don't want to keep them around. He said, I want people who's going to be invested into this business and they're willing to go the extra mile to get the knowledge of how to function and run it as if it was their own business. He said, I'm looking for people like that. They can self-manage and they're willing to go the extra mile to learn this business. So that when it comes to time to deal with our clients, they know it like the back of their hand as if they were the owner themselves. I never forgot that. And for some of you guys, that's your problem. You're trying to create this market, but you know nothing about it. You haven't spent time. And when I say spend time, that don't mean you're actually placing trades. Sometimes it's just good to watch a news event and observe how does it act. Which one worked better? Which one was better at this and that? Which one did this and that? And you jot it down. And if you do that for a month or two, I guarantee your results will be astronomically better. Just by putting in even a month or two of just observing charts, you're going to be so much better. If this was helpful, type a 40 in the box. Just want to make sure I'm giving you guys good understanding. What is separating me from other people? What is the problem? That is what it is. They understand the big players. They understand the markets. And because of their understanding, this is sometimes why they use larger stop losses where they know it's, if it does spike in any direction, I know it's going to work within these boundaries because I'm used to seeing it do that. I'm comfortable with it. It's okay. I know it typically happens. Why? That took time. And then as they get more comfortable, yes, you can shrink it. You can increase your lot size. You can do a whole lot of other things once you get familiar to your business partner. Who is your business partner? The actual Forex market is your business partner. That's the partner. I have a partner in this business called the markets. That's how I get the money out of it. I have to observe it. We're married. I got to get to know you, even though you don't even care to know me. It's a one-sided relationship, but it is what it is. But as long as I get to know you and your behavioral patterns, yeah, I may lose a few trades, but I ain't gonna lose all of them because I get to know you. And the more I get to know you, the higher my win rate goes. So people are always asking, how do you increase your win rate? Get familiar with your business partner. Okay. All right. Hands. Questions, questions. Please raise your hand if you have a question. All right. Ruta, go ahead. Unmute.
Hello, thank you for the lesson. Always valuable, always enjoyed.
Thank you.
I would like to know a bit more about GBP USD.
Yeah, G.
Where, yeah, how far do you think it's going to go up?
That's a great question. I never know that. That's the whole point of getting to know it. One thing I do know, it's doing what kind of, and look in the chat group. Okay. Those who've been with me for a minute, what kind of pattern do we see? Type. What do you see? There we go. That's the word I'm looking for. See, my OGs know what that is. It's called a slant pattern. Slant patterns, watch this, sis. Slant patterns, they slant upwards or downwards, okay? Such as this. See how it's slanted? It's slanted, okay? Once it slants in a different direction, in a certain direction, keep your eyes, and this will be your homework assignment. I got one for you, okay? All right. We don't know how far this can go. It could push higher, but at some point, as a trader in the market, seeing these slant patterns, it makes me get delicious with it. Why? Because I know the next thing that happens is always the same thing that always does. At some point, it comes back down. Here's my point. Watch this, sis. This is going to require you to watch for signs on the lower time frame. We see the slant pattern, slanted. Okay, it's slanted. When that happens, we look for signs on the lower time frame for entries for it going the other way. Now, here's what I mean. Watch this. I'm gonna mark up some slants. Okay, watch this. It shot up. What happened next?
Gone down.
Okay, slanted. See, look at the slant though. See how it's slanted, angled. After that happened, what happened next?
Shot up again.
And then what happened next?
Slanted down.
And then what happened next?
Shot up again.
And then it's slanted which way?
Down.
And it's slanted which way? Up. See, I can mark this all day. And this is part of what I was teaching you guys about observing patterns of the markets, because this, you can go to any chart and you'll see that it constantly keeps doing these slant patterns. When it slants up, and that's the whole point, this is slanted at an angle. It's climbing, but it's at an angle. It's leaning like a building. If a building keeps going up higher and higher, eventually what's going to happen, especially if it's leaning to the side, what happens?
Down.
So that's what I'm looking for. And I can mark this all day long. Look at this. It's scattered on the ground like rocks, but retailers were never taught this, so we don't pay attention to it. But look at that. I can mark this. I can go to any chart and constantly see this. Here's a slant. Okay, here's a slant. They come in different angles, but it's always the same thing. Okay, slant, hard slant to the downside, And that's why this is coming up. This had a deep slant pattern or deep fall to the downside. So it's trying to recover what previously happened to it. And that's all these slant patterns are. Big moves, recovery. Big move, recovery. Big move, recovery. Big move, recovery. Big move, recovery. So this is a what? Big move. And we just have to keep an eye on it and look for signs on the lower time frame for it to do what? Recover back down to the downside. So just this is going to require observation. Are you with me?
Yes.
And that's a very good question. I'm so glad you asked it, because a lot of people always ask it, well, where do you think it's going to stop? How am I supposed to know? We're not Nostradamus, but we get clues. We see what's happening on the high time frame, and we wait on the lower time frame for entries, meaning an arrow on the 15-minute or something. Because see, this thing could still bounce and go a little bit higher. How do we know? We don't. So we don't know, and we don't try to guess that. We wait for the signs, and when the sign happens, such as an arrow on the lower time frame saying, okay, time for reversal, then we can take a look at it and go from there. Okay.
Interesting. Thank you very much for that.
Thank you for that question. That was a very good question. Very good. But here's what we do know for sure, everybody. What do we know for sure? What do we know for sure is going to happen eventually? This is a great homework assignment for each and every one of you guys to learn to observe these markets. What is going to happen next? Type. What do we know for sure? Thank you very much, Eric. Thank you, Liz. Y'all got it. Y'all getting it. Eventually, this thing is going to fall back down. When? We don't know, but we know for sure that's what's the next move. Down we go. The markets can never go in the same direction forever. Eventually, they have to correct themselves. So when you see these slant patterns, slants, slant, they always historically, no matter how big the slant or how small, it's always doing the same thing. I can go all the way back. Look at this. See that angle? That's the key, the angle. See, slanted down. What happened next? Came all the way back up. Okay. Then it came, and I got my too easy. Let me move too easy out of the way. Okay. So y'all can see this all the time. It's always been doing the same thing. Okay. And the bigger the slant, the bigger the pullback. Okay. Look at that. Hard slant, major slant. But then what happened? Another big move to recover that. Then a big move down. Then another big one. Then another big one. Then another big one. It's always doing the same exact pattern over and over and over. So therefore, you guys, make sure to observe that. So keep your eye on this, since we know this is what it does all the time. What do you want to do? Keep your eye on it and wait for the sign of that reversal. And when it does come in, like this bounce that happened right here for the buy, go to the 15-minute, and there it was. I'll mark it again so you can see it. Let's just put a line right here, and I'll change that color. Let's pick a color. Let's go with let's go with red. Rojo. No, magenta. No, rojo. So we got magenta candles. Okay, and I'm gonna make it big. Okay, boom. All right, so we see this red line. See, when that slant pattern came, it hit support, hit the bottom of the trend line, and there we go. So let's drop down to the 15-minute. All you have to do is and look at that red line right there, and look at the arrow. Came right in. That's what you're waiting for. Wait for the arrow to come in and say, yes, it's good to go. And look what happened. It exploded up to the top. See? So now we're waiting for, what kind of arrow are we waiting for, family, at this point? What kind of arrow are we waiting for on the 15? You got it, Liz. Liz got it first. Reggie, you got it next. I see it. Yep. Sarah, you got it. That's exactly the point. Eventually, it's going to happen. It is going to happen. When? We don't know. So what you want to do is you have the Simplicity scanner. Just have that scanner on and watch for this one. And now you begin to observe and learn the behavioral patterns of these pairs. It's behavioral patterns. They're doing the same thing. I can go to any one of these charts. Anyone. And they're all doing the same thing. See? Big slant down. Then a slant up. Then a slant down. Then a slant up. They're all doing the same thing. Okay? Huge slants. Look at this one. Huge slant. Huge slant. Huge slant. Okay? See? Same thing. They come in different shapes and sizes. Now these is sideways. This is choppy. They're still doing the same thing. Look, this is doing 100 many of them. boom, 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 boom. Same thing. Same
So
thing.
best way to examine 15-minute chart in simplicity.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, same
Thank
thing. Oh, I didn't know you were still on. Sorry, sis. Good stuff. Yeah. Yeah. Same thing. Same thing.
Thank you
Some are
very much.
prettier. Yeah. Some are going to have it prettier and some are not. But it's going to be doing the same thing, everybody. Okay. All right. Let me get to Reggie's hand. Reg, go ahead and unmute. There we go. Hi, Reg.
Good morning.
What's up with you, man? Good to hear your voice.
Good to always be in class.
Yeah. Good to hear your voice.
Might we take a look at EN? Because I think while you were lecturing it out, everything just set up the way I wanted it.
Mhm.
And I'm thinking about just I'm thinking about limping in on this one.
You could. You could. Because look at what happened with this one. Slant down, slant up, slant down, and that was hitting that support. And you'll also see that this one, for everybody, news, the NZD came out. So not only did AUD NZD get slammed, but also you can observe and see that Euro NZD got slammed. So what is that? It was just a news event. So now it's sitting on the Fibonacci 23.6 level. If you have the sexy analyst, you see it. It's sitting at the Fibonacci 23.6 level right here. Okay. And it's sitting on 9 o'clock. It's 9 o'clock. So at 9 o'clock, it hit a support. A support dot came in at 9, and it's matching this level here. So again, yeah, if you wanted to get in on a little recovery, that might not be a bad one. Might not be bad. Right there, I see it right here, and every time I hit this level, it popped up. Hit this level, popped up. Yeah, I see it. Not bad.
All right, cool. Thanks.
You're welcome, sir. Good to hear your voice. All right. Is that it for today? Anybody else? Or is that it? We good? Anybody else before we go? Raise your hand. Or forever hold your peace until next week. All right. Ian, go ahead, unmute. Hi.
Hi, Uncle P. Good to be back again.
Yeah, thanks.
Just a quick question. I know it might sound a bit silly, but
Probably not. Go right ahead. I'm
I was watching one of your video and I see you place the stop loss line above the entry point and the take profit line below the entry point. Why is that? Because I thought your entry point, the stop loss must always be below your entry point and your take profit line must always be above your entry point.
You're saying because the trading place, like for an example, if I place a trade right now, the trade won't even go in to effect unless you have those correct. Okay, so watch this. No matter what I do, if I drag this line, it's going to always set it as to take profit, not as the stop loss. Okay, now the only time you can do something different, watch this. Let's say that this thing goes into profit, and let me mark a line up on it. Okay, so here's my entry right here. Okay,
yeah,
green line is. So if price moves up here, I can always move my stop loss above the entry to lock in profit. So in other words, and let me move this gray box out the way. And this is what a lot of professional traders will do. Right now, I'm at a 66 pip risk. Okay.
yeah, yeah.
Watch this, and I'll show you. All right. So let's say 67 pips. Okay. So now I'm set. 66 pip risk, 67 pips take profit. Okay. But if price, let's assume price had moved up in my favor. Okay. And let me make this line white so you can see it better. It's too much red right here. Let's make this white. Great question, by the way. Right. So now let's just say we started here, but now price has moved up here. Okay.
Yeah.
I can always now move my stop loss above my entry to lock in profit. See, it won't even let me do it right now, even though I want to. See, watch. I'm gonna try to move it up.
Yeah.
right back. It won't allow it. But if price have moved up into profit, then I can move my stop loss above my entry. And this locks in guaranteed money so that if the market goes back on me and my stop loss is above my entry, am I going to lose anything on that trade?
No.
No. That's why people move their stop loss above the entry once price action moves up. That's why they do.
Oh, okay. I was a bit, why is that? I couldn't figure out why is that.
Yeah, you're locking in profit so that's what we call, and you'll hear this term the longer you're in this business, you're going to hear a term called risk-free trade. Risk-free trade, which by the way, we have one of those running right now as we speak on I think I forgot what pair it is. But anyway, one of them, they got a risk-free trade running right now. In other words, it ran into profit and they moved the stop loss above their entry. So no matter what happens with that trade, if it comes crashing back down, guess what happens? It's going to hit that stop loss, which is above the entry, and whatever margin, whatever number that is, they're guaranteed. You can go to sleep. That's a vacation trade at that point. You have no more risk. You guaranteed to make something. I don't care if it's McDonald's money. You guaranteed to make something because when it comes down to hit that stop, it's going to hit the stop before it comes back to your entry, and you guaranteed to have some profit. Okay.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. That makes sense. Yes, that makes sense. Thank you.
That's why I come to class and talk.
Yeah, thank you. Just one more question because I'm thinking to get your other system. Can you start it with any amount of credit?
Yeah, you talking about
in your account? Yeah.
A lot of people start with as little as $100, and just
okay. Just want to check. Okay, thank you, Uncle P.
Welcome, sir.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Told you guys I love question and answer period. All right, Louis or Luis?
Hey, how you doing?
All right, is it Louis or Luis?
Whatever comes out first, it's all right.
Love it. All right. What's happening?
I've been called a lot worse things, so it's okay.
Me too.
GJ, could you give me your opinion on that and what the next move might be?
Yeah, on the dragon. I don't have
the dragon.
I don't have an opinion on it. I don't see anything worth my attention on this.
Yeah, I haven't seen anything either. That's why I was just, trying to confirm, like, it maybe I need to do more analysis. I haven't been able to see anything in the last couple of days.
I don't see anything worthwhile. I don't know.
Okay.
As soon as I glance at it, if I don't see certain things, then I don't even pay it attention. That's why I compare so quickly because I just started looking up like, okay, you know what? I don't see nothing. And that's what I do. I just zoom right through them. Now, all of you guys don't have this. This was given to me, and I would love to just give it out, but it was given to me by somebody because I'm doing presentations and going through pairs quickly to teach classes. But you can do this instead, okay? And you can pull this over to bring it as far over as you want, hover, and drag it back, okay? All right, and all of them, you can do the same thing. Just drag and drop on the screen. And look, see, I'm not seeing anything. And this is, I'm glad you asked your question. I'm really glad you asked your question. Here's the reason why. If I ain't seeing much of nothing, then why am I spending so much time on it? If you don't see nothing, what do? Keep it moving, player, until you find something better.
Okay.
Feel me?
Awesome. Yep. Thank you.
Yep. I love question and answer period. If that question was helpful to a lot of you guys, type a 4 in the box. If you don't see it, keep it moving. Find somebody else. This is the one area where I can cheat all day long and be unfaithful as much as I want, and I will get in no trouble. I will not end up in divorce court. Why? Because I'm not married to a pair. Now, let me be very clear. You can have your favorite pair, but even then, if, like, for an example, his question on the dragon, GJ, okay? If I'm looking at the dragon and I don't see anything, what do I have to do with the dragon right now? What do I have to do? If I know this pair like the back of my hand and I'm looking at it right now and I ain't seeing them, what do I do? Type. I'm waiting on y'all. Liz got it first again. You stay out. So if you say, I'm only going to trade one pair and it's going to be the dragon, GJ, that's cool. But if you don't see anything, you can't do anything. So don't force it. Don't overanalyze it. It just ain't ready to do nothing today. It may be ready for something tomorrow or day after tomorrow, but the truth of the matter is, again, my retail family, you are learning what is separating the professional traders from the retailers. We don't rush in and force a trade. It's just not ready. So I have two choices. I can either go to another pair, or I can simply, if this is my favorite one, I have no choice but to wait it out until it gives me a good setup. Once it gives me a good setup, because I know it, and it gives me a good setup, then guess what? I can go ahead and take that setup and it'll be profitable. And sometimes you may only get a good setup on your favorite pair, maybe once or twice, or maybe 3 times a week. It may not be good every single day. And you got to be comfortable with that, which means you got to be patient. Well, I got bills to pay. So what? You got bills to pay, not the market. So you can't make the market move because you got bills to pay. That's your problem. It ain't the markets. And this is how retailers trade. I got to hurry up and pay this. Okay, but so what? What did that have to do with the market? Because the little money you had, you just gave it to the market because of your impatience, because you're trying to demand the market to do something it ain't ready to do. I'm glad this brother asked that question. I'm glad he asked, because we can use this as an example. If you don't see anything and this is the one you want to trade, then either you move on to a different pair or you wait. You wait. That's how you improve your winning percentage. Everybody understand what I'm saying here? Type a 40 in the box if you understand what I'm saying here. This is a blessing to you to learn. Everybody want to learn. Well, how do I do this? Sometimes you have to learn when not to. That's your biggest blessing. When not to. Let me go a different route. And then, Ruta, I'm going to take your hand and I'm done. Okay? I want to get out of nature. The sun is shining. I want to enjoy today. Let me give it to you differently. I think that's a good idea. All right, let me use this example. Type a 100 in the box if you've ever been in a bad relationship. Oh, y'all gonna like this. Let's go deeper. Let's go deeper. Let's go deeper, family. Let's go deeper. It wasn't just a bad relationship. Here's what y'all crazy. All right, stop. Don't type no more. Don't type no more. Hold on. I'm gonna ask a question. Hold on. I'm gonna rephrase my question to make it more deeper, more relevant. Okay. In some relationship, it wasn't, it just don't work out, and that's understandable. Not a problem there. All right. But let me ask this a little bit differently to be more specific. Watch this. Watch this. Okay. Ooh, this is so good, Jesus. This is so good. I love class. Okay. Have you ever been in a relationship that you got into it and had caught feelings for somebody way too fast and it turned out bad? Okay. Not one where you took your time and then eventually, y'all fell in love, whatever, and this doesn't work out. I'm talking about one where they just so attractive. It was just something about them. And then you got into a relationship with them. And then it was type of 1000 in the box. If that same as a button. Okay. Way too quick. Way too quick. Just jumped in way too quick. And you're like, dang. Oh man, I should have left with another head instead of that one, guys. Women, them biceps got you, or the beard, or whatever's your flavor of the day. He's so sexy and turned out to be a maniac, right? You jumped into the relationship way too quick. Okay, way too quick. And it turned out bad. All right. So y'all get it. Okay. This is equivalent to what you're doing in these Forex markets. You're jumping into a financial relationship with certain pairs before you actually learn how to behave. And because of your urgency to pay bills or to quit your job or whatever is forcing you to be urgent, dealing with urgency to get this money. I got to get this money. It's forcing you to be jumping in bed with certain pairs that you should have waited on. And this is one of them. That's why I appreciate that brother's question. This is one of those that if I had to pay bills, I can't pay it with this one today. Not saying tomorrow, but at least not today. It has nothing that I personally like. Now, somebody else who trades differently from me may say, this is a great pair to do XYZ, Uncle P, and you will be right based on what you know about it. But the way I trade, it has nothing of presentation for me. If anything, I would take this one right here. That's going to be, look at this. What did I tell y'all? What did I tell y'all? What did I tell y'all? See, it's stopping, creating that wick on a higher time frame. See that wick? What did I tell y'all? It's going to stop, pop, stop and pop. See the wick? Matter of fact, hold on, let me do this. See, by observation and understanding, I'm going to turn off my supply and demand zones temporarily with the sexy amps. I'm gonna remove them so you guys can see that. And then I'm going to also turn off my trend lines because I want y'all to see this. Well, actually, no, I'll leave the trend line there. Okay. And let me make this bigger. How did I know? How did I know what was going to happen? By observation. I just know. What do y'all see right here? What did I say before it even happened? Sometimes I amaze myself, Jesus, because it's just like Nostradamus. Did I not say this thing will probably come down and touch the average daily range low and then do a bounce? Did I not say that? Type of 40 in the box. No, type of 60 in the box if I said that before it did it. Did I not tell y'all that before it did it? Right here in class. This class is being recorded, so can't nobody say, oh, he don't know what he talking about. It's recorded when I said it. I said this thing will probably come down. And what did it do? Tapped on the average daily range low. And what do you see it doing? Come on now. How did I know? Observation. I've been watching these markets for so long, I just know. And so therefore, hey, my best pair may have done XYZ and, you know, watch this. So if I was to take this trade for a buy, boom, where would I put my stop? I'll be putting that thing way down here, way out the way. And even way out the way, guess what? Way out the way is only 34 pips on this one. That's a big stop loss. Hold on, wait. That ain't nothing but 34 pips. But it's out of the way. It's reasonable. If the market chooses to keep going down, okay, that's cool, I'm out. With 34 pips, I move on to the next trade. But at least my stop loss is appropriate because I didn't use right here. I looked over here and saw something even lower, put it below there, and it's only 34 pips. But I do know that it looks like this push to the downside is about done, and it could do what it did here, here, and here, and here. So this one presents a little more better opportunity for me than to go with this one over here, which at the moment doesn't present anything to me. See, taking my time to get to know you, financial partner called market, allows me to know better when to play with you and when to play not to play with you with certain pairs because I took my time. We're not doing a one-night stand off of somebody I don't know. We're doing a quickie off of somebody I do know. And I do know this dragon, and I do know that the way I trade, the dragon ain't offering nothing where we need to be laying down in these sheets and playing around with. Now this AUDNZ did, different story. It has potential. See, it has potential. See, even from the daily, it broke out of the trend line. That means it probably want to pop right back in that trend line. Okay, see, it's following the trend. It just broke out because of news. There you go. And you can see even from the daily. Did I use a nice little stop loss? I sure did. Why? I used the prior low. If this is like, y'all remember I used to teach in Stairmaster? It's like walking upstairs on support. Higher lows, higher highs, higher lows. Here's a low. Here's a higher low. Here's a higher low. Here's a higher low. It broke through a little bit on this higher low, but it still ain't went all the way down to this one. So wouldn't that be a comfortable place to put my stop loss? Type of yes or no. Wouldn't that be smart to put it on the lower step? It's like you're literally walking upstairs. Here's step one, step two, and you're just walking yourself right on upstairs. But I'm putting my stop below the prior step. See, simple. So this presents a better opportunity to me than this. Not saying that this is not a bad one. If you know something better than me, go ahead and do your thing. But right now, I don't see anything of presentation. For me. All right, let me get to root of hand. This is a wonderful class. Oh, I just love question and answer period. I love it. Go ahead.
Thank you. Just a quick question, following on Ian's question. You know, when you put the stop loss below your entry point after you gained profit, how far below, if that allows you, because you need to allow the pair to breathe? Does that make sense?
Yeah, I don't know. It's always, I mean, you can actually use what's called a trailing stop loss. And let me show you that, okay? Which you can pre-measure and say, okay, like for an example, I'm gonna hover over this. I'm gonna right click and I'm gonna go to this drop down called trailing stop. Okay.
Yeah.
And I used to teach this all the time. Don't ever use this number. This is points, not pips. So when you see 30 points, that's actually only 3 pips. You'll get stopped up real fast. When you see the 65 points, it's only like, let's use 60. You see the 60 points, that's only 6 pips. Don't do that. So you want to go down to custom. And then you convert points to pips by adding a 0. So if I want to have this my stop automatically move itself by 30 pips. So every time this goes up by 30 pips, it's dragging and following behind it. Then what do I need to do? Just add a 0. And there you go. Okay. And you click OK. Now, when you go to your pair and you see right here, look right here. See that yellow? That means your trailing stop is activated. So every time this price begins to move up, so will your stop loss move up by 30 pips. So you can predetermine it. Now, if I'm just observing it and I want to manage it myself, then that's a different story. I just eyeball and be like, okay, well, you know what? What do I feel comfortable with? And that's, so for an example, sis, let's say the price moved up to here. Okay. Are you with me?
Yes, thank you.
Donna, can you take care of that, please, for me?
That's very useful. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah. So watch this. So let's just say, for an example, now the price can move up to here. Guess what? I can manually say, okay, you know what? I think I'll move it up to here, a stop loss. Okay. And or I can move it then above whatever I feel comfortable with that says I want to lock in XYZ number of dollars. Are you with me? And you
Yes,
have the right to do that as well.
that's brilliant. Thank you.
Welcome.
That's better than just a stop loss.
You're welcome, sis.
Thank you.
Okay. Alrighty. Okay. Any other questions for today? If not, we are going to call it a wrap. Okay. All right, you guys, we are done for today. We had a very good class. Thank you guys so much for observing and hanging out and being with us. And I will see you guys in the next class. By the way, again, if you want to join the copycat trader, I'm telling you guys, if it was me doing it all over again, here's what I would have done. I would actually have started out with basically, hold on one second. I would have started out with basically the copycat service and then give myself time to learn the market so that I'm not under pressure. That's what I would do. Okay. I would do that all day long. Okay. So, but it's up to you guys. So I will see you in the next class.